Okay.
Yeah, my grandma, she told me men today are a lot more charming than when she was young. And I said, Grandma, that's because they aren't trying to fuck you anymore.
You talk like that to your grandmother?
This girl says, do you believe in puppy love? And the boy says, hell, I tried it once, but their assholes are too small. Yeah, well, I wanted to get some Braden jokes in tonight, so I tried.
Okay.
Oh, a woman walks up to a guy in a blue bathing suit, and she says, did you know your eyes match your swim trunks? And he goes, oh, why? Are my eyes bulging? Are you little? Oh, God. So, two women are talking about this new hunk in the hood, but he acts so stupid, one says to the other. I think he must have his brains between his legs. And the friend says, yeah, but I'd sure love to blow his mind. Customer goes, waiter, this coffee tastes like mud. And the waiter goes, well, yes, sir. Of course it is. It's fresh ground.
Fresh ground. Oh, my God.
Dirt. You know what 4 animals a woman likes to have in her house? She wants a
What?
tiger in her bed, a mink in her closet, a jaguar in her garage, and a jackass to pay for it all. Randy. This guy asks his waiter how they prepare their chicken, and the waiter says, well, nothing special. We just flat out tell them they're going to die. Chop, chop. Half-dressed redneck couple sitting on a couch watching the news on TV. Man's arms around the woman. Man says, look at them homosexuals are ruining the sanctity of our institution. We ought to go to San Francisco just to show them liberals that marriage means one man, one woman, right, darling? And the woman says, that's right, Daddy.
Oh, gosh.
2 reasons why it's so hard to solve a redneck murder. First, the DNA all matches. Second, there's no dental records. So there's this drunk standing out in the corner on the street. Cop passes by and says, what do you think you're doing? And the drunk says, I heard the world goes around every 24 hours. I'm waiting on my house. Won't be long now. There goes my neighbor. 2 old drunks are in a bar, and the first one says, you know, when I was 30 and I got a hard on, I couldn't bend it with either of my hands, but by the time I was 40, I could bend it about 10 degrees if I tried real hard. By the time I was 50, I could bend it about 20 degrees, no problem. And I'm going to be 60 next week, and now I can almost bend it in half with just one hand. So, says the second drunk, what's your point? Well, says the first drunk, I'm just wondering how much stronger I'm going to get. Two small boys, they weren't old enough to be in school. They were overheard talking at the zoo one day. My name Billy, what's yours? The first boy said. Tommy, says the second boy. My daddy's an accountant. What's your daddy do for a living? Asked Billy. Tommy said, my daddy's a lawyer. Honest? Said Billy. No, just a regular old kind, says Tommy. I have a few lawyer jokes here because my brother's a lawyer, so I like to make fun of him. So this man's chosen for jury duty who really wanted to be dismissed from serving. He didn't want to be on it. He tried every excuse he could think of. None of them could work. On the day of the trial, he decided to give it one more shot. As the trial was about to begin, he asked if he could approach the bench. Your Honor, he said, I must be excused from this trial because I am prejudiced against this defendant. I took one look at the man in the blue suit with those beady fucking eyes and that diss on his face, and I said, he's a crook, he's guilty. So, Your Honor, I can't possibly stand on this jury. And with a tired annoyance, the judge says, get back in the fucking jury box, you fool. That man's the defendant's lawyer. And for 3 years, the young attorney had been taking his brief vacations at this country inn. And the last time he finally managed an affair with the innkeeper's daughter. Well, looking forward to an exciting few days, he dragged his suitcase up the stairs to the inn, and then he stopped short. There sat his lover with an infant in her lap. He said, "Helen, why didn't you write when you learned you were pregnant? I would have rushed up here. We could have gotten married, and the baby would have my name." She said, "Well, when my folks found out about my condition, we sat up all night talking and talking, and we all decided it'd be better to have a bastard in the family than a lawyer." This lawyer defending a man accused of burglary tried this creative defense. He said, "My client merely inserted his arm in the window and removed a few trifling articles. His arm is not himself. And I failed to see how you can punish the whole individual for an offense not just only committed by one of his limbs." "Well, that's very well put," said the judge. "Using your logic, I sentence the defendant's arm to 1 year imprisonment. He can accompany it or not, as he chooses." The defendant smiled, and with his lawyer's assistance, he detached his artificial limb and laid it on the bench and walked out.
No.
Well, there's one reason to have a artificial limb. There you go, boys and girls. A grade school teacher said she was asking kids what their parents did for a living, and Timmy stood up and he goes, "My mom's a doctor." And Sarah stood up and she said, "My daddy's a professor." And little Johnny stood up and said, "My dad's a piano player in a whorehouse." Well, the teacher couldn't believe what she heard. She made a point of calling little Johnny's father that night to discuss it. Little Johnny's father said, "Actually, I'm a law attorney, but how am I supposed to explain it to a 7-year-old kid?" Yeah, a woman went to her doctor for advice. She told the physician that her husband had developed a penchant for anal sex. She wasn't sure it was such a good idea, and the doctor said, "Well, do you enjoy it?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I do." And he said, "Well, does it hurt you?" And she said, "Well, no." And the doctor said, "Well, then there's no reason that you shouldn't practice anal sex if that's what you like, so long as you take care not to get pregnant." And the woman's like, "You can get pregnant from anal sex?" And the doctor said, "Of course. Where do you think lawyers come from?"